Today we'll be looking at the features of the right atrium. First, let's look at the external features of the right atrium. We can see that the right atrium is a chamber elongated vertically from the superior vena cava to the inferior vena cava. Its external features includes at the left side the auricle, the right auricle, and along the right border there is a shallow groove, a shallow vertical groove known as the sulcus terminalis. And the last external feature is the atrioventricular groove, which houses the right coronary artery. Now, let's look at its internal features. Its internal features can be divided into three rough parts. First three parts: the smooth posterior part known as the sinus venerum. This is the smooth posterior part along this. The rough anterior part or the pectinate part, and finally the interatrial septum, the septal wall, the septal part. Now let's look at the smooth posterior part or the sinus venerum. Developmentally, it comes from the right horn of sinus venosus, and most the tributaries of the blood supply of heart open to it except the anterior cardiac veins. Okay, the veins that open into it first up are the superior vena cava, the inferior vena cava, the coronary sinus, and the venae caudam minime, the coronary sinus, and the venae caudam minime throughout the wall. The opening of the inferior vena cava is guarded by a rudimentary wall known as the eustachian wall. The opening of the coronary sinus is just by the opening of the inferior vena cava and is guarded by the coronary sinus valve or the Thebesian valve. Next is the intervenous tubercle of Lowe. A very small projection is not visible. Now let's look at the surface of the rough anterior part or the pectinate part, which includes the auricle. Developmentally, it derives from the primitive atrial chamber. That is, it is already a part of the atria, and unlike the smooth posterior part, is not from the vein that supplies it. We can see that there is a series of transverse muscular ridges. These are the musculi pectini. They arise from the crista terminalis, that is the other side of the sulcus terminalis. Okay, and they run forwards and downwards. So this is the anterior part. They would be running forwards and downwards towards the atrioventricular orifice, giving it the appearance of the teeth of a comb. And it is highly reticular in the auricle, which gives its rough appearance. In the auricle, which gives the auricle its rough appearance. The final wall is the interatrial septum. Interatrial septum is derived from two parts: the septum primum, which can slightly be seen above, and the below, and the septum secundum, which can be seen above. Here in the septal wall, you can clearly see the fossa ovalis. This is a shallow, saucer-shaped depression in the lower part. This represents the site of the embryonic septum primum, at which there was the foramen ovalis, which bypassed the inferior vena cava to the left atrium. We can also see the limbus fossa ovalis or the annulus ovalis, which is the prominent margin of the fossa ovalis. It is continuous with the valve of the inferior vena, rudimentary eustachian valve of the inferior vena cava, on its left side to the margin on the anterior side. The margin on the anterior side is continuous with the left wall of the inferior vena cava. And that is it for the introduction. One point to add is about the triangle of Koch. It is bounded here by the tendon of Toraro. The coronary sinus is there, opening of coronary sinus, and the septal leaflet. This is the prominent region of triangle of Koch.
And therein lies
the AV node.